Right now at 6, COVID numbers are down across most of the 4 states. I'm Chris Warner with what local health officials are seeing.
Plus, a statewide change to Missouri guidelines for school kids who've been exposed to COVID-19. And the Missouri Southern Lions will look to pick up their first road win since 2018 this weekend, bolstered in part by a big win last week.
So now, we're feeling like we're one of those top dogs in the conference, and we want to win out.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
COVID numbers are starting to decline again across the 4 states. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
COVID numbers are beginning to trend down across the area with 1 or 2 exceptions. One of those exceptions is Newton County. Newton County Health Department Administrator Larry Bergner says he believes the ups and downs are just the way of the pandemic right now.
We've seen over the last several weeks, it seems to be one week is a little bit of a bump, the next week will go down, then the next week is a little bit of a bump. So it just seems to be the natural ebb and flow of this virus, that you'll have a little bit of a spike, but not too bad, and then it'll go down the following week.
Across state lines in Crawford County, Pittsburgh State University has reported 0 new cases for the 2nd week in a row, and numbers in the county are trending downward.
We are definitely seeing a trend down, which we're very happy to see, and are hoping that that's, going to continue.
Van Kam says the thing with COVID is it's a novel virus, meaning it's new, and there's still a lot to figure out over the next several years.
So we're learning as we go, and I think the numbers they're trending down. I think they'll continue to trend down, but we have to always just be watchful.
With the Merck announcement of a possible pill to treat COVID symptoms and vaccinations opening up to those ages 5 to 11, Bergner has high hopes for the future.
That hopefully will get us to a point where we can finally say that we are pretty well through the pandemic, and then it becomes something similar to the flu where we know it's going to be here. Hopefully it won't be severe, and we can deal with it in an effective manner to save lives and get people over the illness as quickly as possible.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
Both Bergner and Van Kam stress the best way to stay protected is by getting vaccinated as soon as possible. At the Freeman media briefing today, officials discussed declining COVID cases as well, including a drop in the number of people hospitalized with COVID. Additionally, Freeman's chief clinical officer, Jeff Thompson, discussed the new Merck pill that's designed to treat COVID. Merck requested emergency use authorization from the FDA on Monday. And Thompson says there are still a number of unanswered questions on exactly how the pill will roll out.
The way it's been studied, the dosage has not been set, and that will be in the emergency use authorization, but it's a twice-a-day pill for 5 days is what it looks like it will probably be, but that exact dosage hasn't been laid out yet.
Thompson says in addition to getting the COVID vaccine, everyone needs to make sure they get their flu shot this year. Jasper County Health Department reports 5 more COVID-19 deaths. Health officials say the patients were 3 women, 1 in her 60s, the other 2 in their 50s, and 2 men, both in their 50s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 227. New guidelines in Missouri say students, teachers, and staff exposed to someone with COVID will be allowed to stay in school and participate in sports. The state adopted the new Test to Stay guidelines yesterday. The new guidelines say anyone exposed to a person with COVID-19 can remain in school if they get frequent negative test results. The rules will require the person who is exposed to have no COVID-19 symptoms for 14 days, with at least 3 rapid antigen tests taken in the first 7 days after exposure. Local health agencies will determine if the Test to Stay policy will be used in schools in their region. Joplin schools have already said they would not adopt the new guidelines. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
We had to deal with quite a bit of storms again this morning, Dow, to start our Wednesday out. But thankfully, most of us, I want to stress most of us, are looking dry as the evening gets underway. Still mostly cloudy from 7th range line, but at least we're dry around Joplin. But you don't have to venture too far southeast of Joplin to still find some areas of rain, although compared to the last hour, it certainly has lightened up over parts of Lawrence, Berry, and McDonald counties. That being said, we're far from done with our rain chances. In fact, flash flood watches for Newton, McDonald, Berry, McDonald, and Benton counties until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening because our stubborn storm system's right on top of the area still, and more moisture, meaning more rain and storms, continue to ride on in from the southwest. In the meantime, temperatures aren't so bad, at least. Lower to middle 70s across the board. Quick look at our evening planner. Dow has us starting out in the 70s, and then we'll eventually drop back through the mid 60s and the lower 60s by tomorrow morning. We'll just break down how much longer the rain will stay around here in a bit.
Nick, thanks. A Marionville, Missouri man is going to prison for the murder of a Springfield, Missouri woman. As part of a plea deal, a judge sentenced James Pride to 25 years for the May 2020 stabbing death of 53-year-old Patricia Uranga. Pride's mother told deputies her son claimed he killed Uranga because he thought she was evil. Investigators found Uranga's body in a car in the Marionville area. She had been stabbed multiple times. A bystander tries to save the victims of a fiery one-car crash in Parsons, Kansas. Happened on Kimball and Richard last night. Parsons police chief says the driver hit a tree and his car caught fire. A neighbor used a fire extinguisher to put out the flames. The driver, Harold Wetzel, and his passenger, Bet Wetzel, were both taken to the hospital. Harold Wetzel died. Bet is at Freeman Hospital in critical condition. The Parsons police chief released a statement saying, in part, "This is an unfortunate event and my heart goes out to the family and anyone affected by the loss of Harold." Still ahead, Missouri Southern looks to win back-to-back football games for the first time in years, and they say recent experience makes them confident they can pull off the feat. And later, training heroes, recognizing the first batch of grads from the Joplin and Missouri Southern Fire Academy. The Missouri Southern football team returns home this weekend, hosting Central Missouri. The Lions aim for back-to-back wins after beating Lincoln last weekend, and they're trying to snap a home losing streak that dates back to 2018. Sports Director Jacob Leonard has more.
Confidence is building for Missouri Southern after last weekend's blowout win over Lincoln.
There was a lot of guys that had really breakout games or really positive games. So it's very easy to have energy after a win. The competitor, the coach in me is just hungry for the next one. I want to make sure that they not just get one game of success, but all of a sudden can get 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and be able to finish this season on a high note.
It's not just last week's win boosting confidence for Southern. It's really how they've played the last month against good competition.
Win against UCO was very big, competing, going shot for shot with Fort Hays, going shot for shot with Pitt, and then seeing what Pitt did last week with Northwest. So now, we're feeling like we're one of those top dogs in the conference, and we want to win out.
Saturday, the Lions host Central Missouri, a team that has won back-to-back games after an 0-4 start.
They all play at a high level. They all enjoy what they do. You can tell they're having fun, and they also want to win. But you can also tell that they also trying to figure out what their identity is.
They played some tough games early. Offensively, they didn't have great output, but man, they are, you look at their last 3 games, they are trending in the right direction.
A win on Saturday would give the Lions back-to-back wins for the first time since 2014 and their first home win since October 2018.
It's kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth when you say wins are wins, but gosh dang it. I want to win at home. I want to go home and go out to eat and celebrate, and I think the fans deserve it. I really want the fans to come out to this game. I want to do this one for them. We've done a good job with our attendance, and the community is coming out and supporting. The school is coming out and supporting, and so we gotta feed them. We gotta give them something to keep coming back for.
Missouri Southern's game against Central Missouri kicks off at 4 p.m. Saturday in Joplin. Now, the Lions seem to be bringing a lot of confidence into their matchup. How about you? On a scale of 1 to 10, How optimistic are you about Missouri Southern football's potential moving forward? You can participate in the poll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You cast your vote on this scale. You can also do it through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on the final numbers here in just a bit. Later, Missouri Southern students get a lesson in a 170-year-old Japanese tradition.
But first, we have more rain chances in the forecast. Will that be an issue for the weekend? Answer up next. We had to deal with the strong to severe storms that came at us from the west very early to start this morning out, but most of us have had a chance to dry things out once we got past that main batch of heavy rain and thunderstorms. But they were packing a bit of a punch as they rolled on through. Take, for instance, the damage report that we got out of Fort Scott. The winds were starting up to down a large tree across West 18th Street in downtown Fort Scott. Thankfully, no other reports of damage came out of that. But down near Hallowell, east of Oswego, we did have Cherokee County storm spotters at least confirm, or at least estimate rather, wind gusts pushing near 60 miles per hour. So that's why we actually had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings as those storms rolled on through this morning. But all in all, everybody saw mainly just rain, more rain out of this, averaging out to just an inch according to radar estimates. And we're not quite done with the rain chances just yet. Flash flood watches are out for Berry, Lawrence, Newton, McDonald, and Benton counties until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, because even though we dealt with quite a bit of rain just over the past few days alone, more rain is trying to develop and try to clip some of our southern counties. But most of us north and west of 44, you're dry at the moment, but we can take a quick peek in our southern counties where we have some stronger storms around Fort Smith and trying to push east along I-40, but mainly light rain, a couple light showers from about Pineville and the southern parts of Berry County at this time. Joplin, you're mostly cloudy, but you're dry at 6:16 on this Wednesday evening, 72 degrees with a south wind at 13 miles per hour. Temperatures across the rest of the region, we're sitting mainly in the lower to middle 70s across the board, with the exception of Greenfield and Milnett, trying to sneak back into the upper 60s already. But we'll eventually join them as temperatures across the area definitely drop back into the upper 60s by 8 o'clock, 66 by midnight. I'm thinking lows dropping back to 62, only 62 or so, as more cloud cover and even more rain chances are on the way. You can see how that additional moisture is ready to bring all these rain chances toward the north and east near us as our stubborn storm system is stuck in place. That will change as we head toward the weekend, though. Our last upper level low that gave us a severe weather this morning continues to lift north. This one coming out of Vancouver and Portland, though, that's the one that will push on through Friday and get rid of the rain chances and set us up for a decent weekend. As far as this evening goes, we'll continue to watch the rain chances increase along and south of the I-44 corridor, so definitely would be leading to more additional rainfall during the overnight hours. I don't think any of this will be strong or severe, though, so we should not have to worry about that as lows drop back near 62. And we're still going to hold on to mostly cloudy skies. So you can see how the future radar wants to keep some scattered rain and thunderstorm chances around tomorrow. 62 in the morning, 68 rather by noon, highs around 74. I want to quickly show you Friday, though, because we'll have to start with rain and storms during the morning, then the overall trend, thankfully, as the system clears out, the cloud cover. The rain chances clear out just in time for Friday night football. But the football fields might be a bit muddy, if not wet, because before we can dry things out, we can see another maybe half an inch to maybe an inch and a half or 2 inch amounts of rain before retreated to finally a nice fall-like weekend. 74 tomorrow, 66 and dropping throughout the day on Friday, so it's going to be kind of cool, if not chilly, for Friday night football. But 65 Saturday, 74 Sunday, down with mostly sunny skies. That's going to be a nice reward after a few more days of rain chances.
Yeah, and a little chill in the air for Friday night football.
Can't
Once you
beat
wear
it.
your team sweatshirt and no rain, sounds good. Thanks. Later, the results from our KOAM News Now Insta poll on Missouri Southern football. Plus, we're going to show you how Kansas City artists are bringing new life to an abandoned building. And PSU students take a 3D printer on a spin to put a new twist on an old toy. Cleveland City and Missouri Southern leaders celebrate the first batch of graduates from the new Fire Academy. The academy was created earlier this year and classes started in the summer. 12 students received their certificates today, and one of them was honored with the Steve Fierro Endowed Memorial Scholarship Award, honoring a Carthage firefighter who died in the line of duty in 2004.
If you're interested in serving your community, if you're interested in giving back, if you're interested in being out and making a difference in today's world, please come see us. We now have a program in place and we can train you through Missouri Southern. You can get your EMT, your Fire 1 and 2, and within a 12-month period have all your testing certification and be working somewhere.
Officials say the scholarship award will be given to one graduate every year. Look at this. This is one heck of a catch. Kansas wildlife officials say this monster was reeled in on the Neosho River near Parsons. It's a nearly 40-pound alligator gar. Biologists are now working to determine how that animal got into a Kansas waterway. They're not supposed to be here. The most likely scenario is the alligator gar was released by its owner after it became too large. Transporting and releasing alligator gar is illegal. Up next, a final look at the forecast, plus a new approach to building a very old toy at PSU. And Missouri Southern's Japan semester allows students to get hands-on with hand puppets before seeing them in action. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Sergeant Larry Tustin served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we are proud to salute Sergeant Larry Tustin. He's tonight's four-state hero. Jordan Abbey joins us now with what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to check out the new location for Jasper County's drug treatment program. Also, what the White House says it's doing to combat inflation and what the FDA is doing to try to reduce the amount of sodium Americans are ingesting. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Jordan, thanks. Hey, let's check out tonight's KOAM News Now Insta poll. The Missouri Southern Lions are looking to win back-to-back games for the first time since 2014 on Saturday. And we're asking, on a scale of 1 to 10, how optimistic are you about Missouri Southern football's potential moving forward? The average score, 7. Pretty good. This poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. Today is International Spin a Top Day, a day celebrating the classic toy, the top, of course. PSU students put a spin on the old toy using some new technology. They 3D printed casts that they used to make these cast metal tops for their classmates to enjoy, and it seems they did enjoy them. The class has kept a tally of how many times the tops have been spun, and the last report it was up to a couple of hundred.
It's just something for the community to come together, you know. Not a lot of people know about it, so it's just kind of that thing to, you know, give our name out there. So you walk by, you see all these people spinning tops, you kind of get that curious, like, what are they doing? Oh, it's an International Spin a Top Day, why not? It's just kind of a thing to get our name out there.
Tops were made by students in the Manufacturing Engineering Technology program. MSSU's Japan semester in Joplin continued today with puppet performances and a workshop. The Banraku Bay Puppet Theater is the only one of its kind in the U.S., presenting traditional Japanese puppetry. Performers were trained in Japan by artists from a 170-year-old theater. Some interesting, colorful bits of culture there. Chances of more rain tonight, Nick.
Yeah, they're picking back up as we go throughout the rest of the evening, Dow. They're going to stick around with us at times tomorrow with highs near 74. One last push of rain will take us from 66 early with dropping temperatures throughout the day, but we'll dry out just in time for football and for the weekend. The temperatures look pretty good as well.
Thanks, Nick. And thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you tonight with a look at how artists are adding beauty to abandoned buildings in Kansas City. See you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.